Have you ever wondered how artists make flat drawings look three-dimensional? It's like magic, but the secret lies in perspective. Imagine yourself standing on a long, straight road. As you look ahead, the road seems to narrow, and the trees on either side appear to get smaller and closer together. This is perspective in action. Objects appear smaller and closer together as they get farther away. In this guide, we'll explore the fascinating world of two-point perspective, a technique used by artists to create realistic depth and dimension in their drawings. We'll learn how to draw a simple house, step by step, using this powerful tool. Don't worry if you're a beginner. We'll break down the process into easy-to-follow steps, making perspective drawing fun and accessible to everyone. Get ready to unleash your inner artist and discover the secrets of creating three-dimensional drawings. Grab your pencil, paper, and a ruler, and let's embark on this exciting journey of artistic exploration. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from them. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and the journey of mastering two-point perspective begins with a single line. So let's dive in and start creating. Every great performance needs a stage, and our drawing is no exception. In two-point perspective, the stage is set by the horizon line, an imaginary line representing eye level. Draw a horizontal line across your paper, about 1/3 of the way down from the top. This is your horizon line. Now let's place our vanishing points. These points, located on the horizon line, act like magnets, pulling the lines of our drawing towards them. Choose 2 points on the horizon line, one towards the left and the other towards the right. These are your vanishing points. The distance between your vanishing points will determine the angle of view of your drawing. A wider distance creates a more dramatic perspective, while a narrower distance results in a more subtle effect. Experiment with different placements to see how it affects your drawing. Remember, the horizon line and vanishing points are the foundation of our two-point perspective drawing. Once these elements are in place, we can start building our house. Every house needs a solid foundation, and our drawing is no exception. Let's start by drawing a simple rectangle, which will serve as the base of our house. Lightly draw a vertical line, starting below the horizon line and extending downwards. This line represents the nearest vertical edge of our house. Now, draw 2 lines from the top and bottom of this vertical line, extending towards the left vanishing point. These lines will converge towards the vanishing point, creating the illusion of depth. Do the same on the right side, drawing 2 lines from the top and bottom of the vertical line towards the right vanishing point. These 4 lines, converging towards the vanishing points, form the 2 sides of our rectangular base. Notice how the lines get closer together as they approach the vanishing points, giving the illusion that the sides are receding into the distance. With this simple rectangle, we've laid the foundation for our house, establishing its basic shape in two-point perspective. Now let's start building upwards. Our house needs walls to stand tall and proud. From the corners of our rectangular base, draw vertical lines upwards, representing the edges of the walls. These lines should be perfectly vertical, parallel to each other, and perpendicular to the horizon line. Remember, in two-point perspective, vertical lines always remain vertical, regardless of their position in the drawing. This ensures that our house stands upright and stable. As you draw the vertical lines, imagine them rising from the ground and reaching towards the sky. The height of these vertical lines will determine the height of your house. You can make them tall for a stately mansion or shorter for a cozy cottage. The choice is yours. Feel free to experiment with different heights to find the perfect proportion for your house. With the walls in place, our house is starting to take shape. A house is not complete without a roof to shield it from the elements. Let's add a simple pitched roof to our structure, creating a classic triangular shape. Find the midpoint of the top edge of the front wall. This will be the peak of our roof. From this midpoint, draw 2 lines, one extending towards the left vanishing point and the other towards the right vanishing point. These lines represent the sloping edges of the roof, converging towards the vanishing points to create the illusion of depth. Notice how the triangular shape of the roof follows the same perspective rules as the rest of the house. The lines converge towards the vanishing points, making the roof appear to recede into the distance. With the roof in place, our house is starting to look more and more complete. Now let's add some finishing touches, such as doors and windows, to bring our creation to life. Doors and windows are essential elements of any house, providing entryways and views to the outside world. Let's add these important features to our drawing, enhancing its realism and detail. To draw a door, choose a location on one of the walls and lightly draw a vertical line representing the side of the door. From the top and bottom of this line, draw lines towards the appropriate vanishing point, depending on which wall you've chosen. These lines will define the top and bottom edges of the door. Windows follow the same principle, using converging lines to create rectangular shapes within the walls. Remember to keep the lines parallel to the corresponding edges of the house, ensuring that the doors and windows align harmoniously with the overall structure. Our house is looking good, but we can make it even better by adding some details to enhance its depth and realism. Consider adding a chimney, a porch, or even a small garden to create a more inviting and lived-in feel. Use the same two-point perspective principles to draw these additional elements, ensuring that they blend seamlessly with the existing structure. Remember, the vanishing points act as guides for all lines, creating a consistent sense of depth throughout the drawing. Don't be afraid to experiment with different details and decorations. Let your creativity flow and personalize your house to make it truly unique. Now that you've mastered the basics of drawing a house in two-point perspective, it's time to unleash your creativity and explore different variations. Try changing the position of the vanishing points to create different angles of view. Experiment with different house shapes and sizes, adding unique architectural features to personalize your creations. You can even try drawing a whole street of houses, each with its own distinct perspective and character. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you experiment with two-point perspective, the more confident and skilled you'll become in creating dynamic and engaging drawings. Congratulations on completing this journey into the world of two-point perspective. You've learned how to create a realistic drawing of a house, using vanishing points and converging lines to create a sense of depth and dimension. Remember, perspective drawing is a skill that develops with practice. Don't be afraid to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from them. The more you draw, the better you'll become at visualizing and representing three-dimensional objects on a flat surface. Now go forth and unleash your inner architect. Draw houses, buildings, streets, and entire cities using the power of perspective to bring your artistic visions to life. The world is your canvas, and the possibilities are endless.